This just got real, as there has been some wild details recently revealed from Lakers Governor Jeanie Buss in another interview she did recently about the Luka Doncic trade from the Lakers front office perspective. And Anthony Davis recently made his return to Los Angeles, and he had some words about adjusting to the trade. What's good? I'm Okechi Apakama, and this is Lakers Digest coming at you with another video. And before we get into everything we have for today's video, guys, I just want to remind you to subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already to get those Laker updates. And we have recently passed 16,000 subscribers, so I want to thank each and every one of you guys for helping us get to that goal. And now we're going to push towards an even bigger insurmountable goal of 20,000 subscribers. So I want to thank each and every one of you guys to help subscribe to this channel and like, comment, because we see you guys and it truly helps this channel grow. Now, without other way, let's hop straight into the topics we have for you today, as the Lakers never wanted to trade AD. So Jeanie Buss recently had an interview she did, and it was about like an 8-minute long interview, and she talked about a lot of things involving the Luka Doncic trade and some of like the fallouts and some of the things that happened before that. So Jeanie really got into some of the details that have been sort of missing and has now been brought to light due to this interview. And the big thing that she said is the Lakers never originally wanted to trade AD. So this was the full quote here, as she said, when the opportunity came up, we were not looking to move Anthony Davis. He was just a rock solid player. So we had to give up a lot to get Luka, but with the opportunity to get him. And that is a very bold thing from a person like Jeanie Buss, who is the governor of the Lakers, and ultimately all the decisions will fall to her lastly on just anything basketball wise. But for her to come out and say that the Lakers weren't even looking to trade Anthony Davis shows how much of a shock that this trade was, and how much it was a shock to the Los Angeles Lakers themselves that they were going to trade Anthony Davis. Because if you probably told the Lakers themselves that they were going to trade Anthony Davis at the beginning of the season, they would probably look at you sideways thinking that, no, this is our franchise guy. The Lakers recently signed Anthony Davis to one of the largest contract extensions in NBA history the season prior, and he has been playing with very good health. Obviously, he got injured recently, but he was playing with very good health the past couple of seasons, and really that just rock solid guy for the Los Angeles Lakers on the defensive end, and he was starting to be more of the hub offensively. So it was definitely a shock to the Lakers brass that a guy like a generational guy that Luka Doncic was available. And obviously, when you have these conversations, she was talking about this in the interview, that the Lakers really wanted to keep this quiet and under wraps because they didn't want any of these details to get out. Not only that it would affect a possible trade even happening, but that it will affect the team that it's happening to, because you don't want to really mess up the vibe that JJ Redick is trying to grow and build with the current Laker team. So from the Lakers front office perspective, they did a very great job of keeping all of those details and everything they needed to under wraps, because that really led them to help get that deal done for a guy like Luka Doncic. So Jeanie Buss coming out and saying these things is just a very big and, like I said, staunch thing for the Los Angeles Lakers, because they were looking for that Anthony Davis was going to be their guy for the foreseeable future. Now, when you make that trade with a guy like for Luka Doncic, she's definitely going to be your foreseeable future. And yes, she talked about giving up a lot because, Anthony Davis, 10-time All-Star, this guy who should have been Defensive Player of the Year multiple seasons, and just a stalwart, one of the best defenders in the NBA. And then also you give up a young up-and-coming Max Christie who's playing really well for the Mavericks. So those are a couple of guys that you give up, but you get up a generational type talent like Luka Doncic, and it changes the fortune of your franchise for the next 10 seasons. So it ultimately, her coming to that decision to trade Anthony Davis makes sense, but just from the Lakers' brass perspective, they weren't really seeking to trade out or to trade Anthony Davis out to another team there. So that was just a very shocking thing, just even to them as well, because they were possibly looking to keep Anthony Davis past this season even. But I want to also talk about something else about this trade that she talked about in this interview, saying that there was a bit of a Luka connection with the Lakers beforehand. So everybody kind of knows that viral moment for a couple of years ago, that Luka Doncic, him greeting Kobe Bryant, and Jeanie Buss talked about that in this interview, and she really went into some details about how Gigi Bryant was Luka. Luka was one of her favorite players, and obviously Kobe would bring her out to see him. So that was a big thing. And then this is what was said about the interview. So many will be surprised that the part where Jeanie said Kobe took him under his wing, him meaning Luka Doncic, because it wasn't publicly known that they were close, and it shouldn't be a shock because Luka kept his private business because he's not the type of attention seeking over personal relationships. So yeah, she said that in the interview that Kobe and Luka Doncic had a bit of a relationship there, and Kobe did something to take him under his wing and really, teach him about the tutelage of being that superstar type player and really being looked at as the franchise guy. And there was moments when obviously Kobe was still with us, that they would be in conversation, whether it's Kobe coming to the games or just through text message. But this wasn't really known between the greater worlds, really, because it was just mostly just a private relationship between those two guys. So for that to happen, and then she also said that when she had her first conversations with Luka Doncic, Jeanie Buss that is, saying that Luka said he wished that Kobe Bryant was there to kind of see this come to fruition, because obviously a guy like Kobe, who is an avid supporter of the Los Angeles Lakers and really became ingrained within the Lakers family and just everything that he does, would have loved to see a guy like Luka Doncic on this team and just really what it can do for the city just moving forward and just things of that nature. So there was that connection there that also, helped make this trade more attainable, I would say, in the Lakers front office brass's eyes, really, because like I said, it still does take a bit of conversating about moving off of a guy like Anthony Davis, because Anthony Davis has done so much for you. He has won a championship for you, so he has sort of that cachet that a franchise guy would have. But like I said, if there is a generational type talent like Luka Doncic, you really don't want to waste that type of opportunity going after a guy like him. So kudos to the Los Angeles Lakers to making this type of trade and making this type of deal, because it sets things in motion to really help Los Angeles Lakers. Now, the other end of the stick here, as the Lakers did play the Mavericks a couple of days ago, but Anthony Davis came back, albeit he did not play, and if he did play, there definitely would have been some different emotions within the building, but he did talk about that with Brad Turner of LA Times, and he recounts of all of his emotions sort of happening within the trade, and just the main gist from Anthony Davis and what I covered from that article there is that Anthony Davis was definitely as shocked as everybody else, but he's also a guy who was very aware of the NBA business, and he said it was a thing that the Lakers wanted to do, and then he realized and understood that, and he's like, I've got, a wife, I've got a kid, so I've got to figure out, my situation now in Dallas. So he took a very professional approach to that. Yes, there definitely was that bond between LeBron James and Anthony Davis, because those two guys are truly the best of friends, and so when that sort of thing happens in this sort of professional environment, it can feel a little awkward at times, because even LeBron, a guy who generally is aware of all these big name decisions and signings and trades that has been happening on his teams for the past couple of years, did not know about this, as Rich Paul recently said in an interview that he wasn't even aware of a trade even happening. So for those two guys who were the pillars of this Laker team for the past couple of seasons, to really see it come to a very swift end, definitely had a sort of feeling to it. When the Lakers played the Mavericks the other day, LeBron was just staring at that tribute video, because he misses his guy Anthony Davis, and albeit you did get Luka Doncic on your team, AD was still his friend, and there is a lot of lingering things and a lot of lingering emotions that you can have from something of that nature. But you got to move on, as professional basketball players do, and the Los Angeles Lakers now have a new outlook of the future, and that is due in large part to what Jeanie Buss saw in this moment to make this trade and really turn the tides of what the Lakers' fortune looks like for the next decade of seasons here. So that's probably going to be it for this video, guys. Make sure you guys comment down below of what do you guys think of Jeanie Buss, and are you in the same mind of thinking that you weren't as well thinking the Lakers were going to trade a guy like Anthony Davis? Let us know what you think in the comments down below. And just one more thing for us, guys, there is about 89% of you who have recently watched our videos who are not yet subscribed to the channel just yet. And if you guys want more of that Laker news, Laker content, just trade rumors, just every and all things LA Lakers, you guys are going to come right here to Lakers Digest so you don't miss any of the action. All right, I have been your host, Okechi Apakama, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.